Hello, this is the first proper episode, which is just to cover the first 3 days of this home education malarkey, and it's been very much up and down. Quite a few ups. The first day, for example, going to the beach, going on an adventure of discovery. That was very easy to do. The next day, well, it is 20 past 12. Well, I'm 2 days in. 2 days of frustration, if I'm honest. I've got to be completely open and honest here. It's not entirely surprised me it's been a bit awkward, a bit difficult, because they don't see me as the teacher, they see me as dad. And that means that there are certain things that they're a lot more comfortable with saying and doing and refusing to cooperate with than what you would have with a teacher. So there's going to be an awful lot of adjustment. However, I was more concerned with them doing maths than anything else, because that's the one thing they just didn't seem to enjoy. Oddly enough, it seems to be the one thing I never enjoyed when I was at school as well. So I downloaded a maths app on my phone, and I've just been working on it every night except for tonight, because I've been editing a video from my other channel tonight. They seem to have enjoyed it today, which is interesting, because I have enjoyed learning better maths as well, to the extent with the past couple of days I'm thinking I'm going to know everything about maths I didn't know before, and I feel really rather excited by this. And once I've understood it all, I'll really enjoy passing it on. Anyway, yesterday was the first day, and I thought I'd have a soft start by effectively having a holiday as the first day of school. So we went off to Formby.
Right, dogs are welcome. Dogs are welcome on a lead.
Yeah, in there.
Oh, the sun's coming out. Thank you.
So this is day one, effectively, of home education, by taking them to Formby Beach, where we can go and look out for things. On the way here, we had the most wonderful chat about economics. Yeah, no, that just amused me quite a bit. We're on the lookout. We're going to look for three things here. The first is the red squirrel. The red squirrel. I've never ever seen a red squirrel, and this is one of the few places in the UK where you are with a chance of spotting them. The natterjack toad, and what's the other thing? Oh, sand lizards. So far, no squirrels. Let's grow a pine tree. What did you see in there?
A couple of eggs. It looks like.
Eggs or legs?
What? No.
Where are the squirrels? Where are the squirrels? I haven't seen any grey ones. What did you say it looks like?
South Korea, apparently.
Don't see how.
Yeah, then.
Failed at finding the red squirrel, but you never know what we might find next. Why did you pick it?
It's cute.
Okay, we'll take a picture of that, and then you can identify it afterwards. Keep going. What a fantastically clear day. What a spectacular day. I can see the Welsh mountains over that way, and should also be able to see the Lake District as well up there. Education works better when you're happy, and they are learning stuff, but they just don't realise it. Oh, I wasn't expecting this. I can see Blackpool Tower from here. But can we zoom in enough to actually... Yep, there we go. Let's take a picture. Here's a picture of Blackpool Tower zoomed in by 100. Notice, flat earthers, that you can't see the bottom of it. What has worked quite well though is the introduction of a maths app. See, the thing is, when you have the internet in your hand, you have the opportunity to learn anything you like. And I'm going to take advantage of this as much as possible. They both have mobile phones. They both have tablets. That means they can have apps. And neither of them particularly liked maths. It was a bit of a sore point. I need to drink tea. I don't operate properly without it. Anyway, so the thing is, I thought I'd download myself an app for maths to take it from the beginning right the way to the end so that you know absolutely everything. And I've been actually astonished by how much I've enjoyed learning. I felt like it's opened up this whole avenue of excitement that I'd never even realised was there. I honestly didn't. I never found it interesting, and now I do. Now I think it's the most wonderful subject to study. And some of that enthusiasm seems to have rubbed off because these two have also kind of got into it as well. So they've been on their phone doing this maths app over and over again, much more than I was expecting them to do. And this afternoon, I'm going to do some much more difficult stuff together with them rather than just leaving them to their own devices. One topic we haven't even brushed on at all yet, which is surprising because it happens to be one of their favourites, is art. And that'd be great really, because I'd like to get them into painting and get rid of this horrible monstrosity, this horrible generic picture on the wall there, and start filling the place up with unique pieces. Same goes for music. Neither of them have had any kind of real interest in music, which is strange because obviously it's been one of my biggest things throughout my life. There are talks of bringing home the company keyboard, the Project Nigel resident keyboard, sitting proudly on one of the workbenches, meaning that work can't happen. Wants to come here, do some work here instead. This morning, just after we'd taken the dog out for a walk, I was going through the potential pitfalls of trying to do this at home. Obviously beyond the fact that I can't be at work. And one of the things is structure. Structuring of lessons, structuring of learning, heading towards getting qualifications. And I thought, really what I need to do is go down the route of GCSE guided structures, etc. But I don't really want to do it that way. I want it to be a lot more loose. Any of these subjects that they're doing, they could go into doing an exam at any point once I'm confident they can actually do it. But to get there, it's best if they really enjoy it. Best to really be getting something out of it. So earlier on, we just happened to dig the globe out because both of my girls were very, very interested in geography from a very early age. Don't know why. Maybe it's because I was always talking about it. Maybe it's because we had a map on the wall and I'd point out countries, and we'd have these quizzes where I'd challenge them to find the countries everywhere. This was before they could even read, so they were very good at that. We got the globe out, and a globe is a much nicer way of looking at the map of the world. And we spent quite a long time just playing with this globe and just identifying places and talking about how long it would take to get from one place to another, and how you could travel from one place to another, and some places that you couldn't. And the fact that the Pacific Ocean is just full of islands everywhere. And it triggered a thought about doing a nice big geography lesson today. Now, their favourite country is South Korea, which is quite an unusual thing. And this has come about through Squid Game. Squid Game, they were talking about Squid Game about a year ago, and I was like, you shouldn't be watching that. You shouldn't even know about Squid Game. But for some reason, they kept on going about it, and they'd become fascinated by it. And then because of that, become fascinated by the country of South Korea. So I spent 25 minutes just reading about South Korea and set them a task to write about it. But so far myself being really totally fascinated by it myself now. The culture, the Korean War, the extension of the Cold War, the whole thing, everything leads to another question and another explanation, and you can find yourself just going so deep into learning about things that the time just disappears. I've really enjoyed this afternoon. Now they're in the house at the moment, they're upstairs. I've given them 10 minutes, a break of 10 minutes to just go and do something else for a while. And then they're going to come back down. And we're going to do algebra together. And then cooking. Why is the basic skill of cooking so ignored? And why are we not just a bit more like South Korea, where they respect their elders, where they have this ethic of work and making their country great? So I think that in 1953 the place was in ruins, and now they're this massive economic country, part of the Four Tigers, I think it is, the Singapore, Taiwan, Korea, not South Korea, and never mind. Anyway, I'm kind of waffling on a little bit here. They've helped me cook every day this week, which is rather good. They seem to be very interested in it, and of course, you're going to learn quickly. Knifing technique is the most important thing. So you want a sharp, you need to be able to use a sharp knife safely. And you see so many people they'll use a sharp knife and they just like chop with it and chop and risk cutting off digits and wrong bits of the carrot. And I really don't want that to happen. But because, on the food subject, they want to try and make kimchi. I thought, well, it might be better off if we just actually buy some, because it's quite an involved process making the stuff. See if they like it. If they eat the whole bag of it and want more, then yeah, we'll cook some. We'll figure it out. It's not like doing a cottage pie. To help aid the whole cooking, eating enthusiasm side of things, I'm growing stuff in the back garden. There's not bags of room there, but I took home some of the shelves from work so I can put pots on and have stuff outside where it doesn't really matter if you get dirt spills everywhere. And I've successfully started growing some chilies and some capsicums. That's all so far. I'm going to get another big pot and plant. There we go. I purposely kept this rather hairy potato. Looks like it should have a name. Looks like it should, it reminds me of, it really does look like someone I know that. Anyway, the point is, I'm going to bung this in a big plastic pot and that will grow more potatoes. The kind of potatoes that taste like potatoes, rather than the ones that you get from the shop. There's a lot of adjustments to make and lots of things to just get used to. I'm doing my best. And sometimes I'm going to be just a little bit difficult. Sometimes I'm going to really struggle. A lot of the time I'm going to wish I hadn't started. But hopefully, if I just persevere, I'll be able to feel proud that I've actually made the right choice. And we'll see, the results will speak for themselves. Hopefully at some point they'll want to be really involved in showing how all this works as well. But for the moment, that's the end of this rather short episode. Or is it a long one? I don't even know. And I'll see you either on another channel somewhere else or back here next week. Bye-bye. We've had a really successful day, and at the end of this day they wanted to do some cooking, but not just any cooking that was entirely decided by themselves. They chose what ingredients went together, and it's based on some of the things that I've done in the past. So what they did is cook this mince, sort of chopped up a bit of onion and a bit of garlic and a bit of pepper, and then we had some tomato puree and tandoori mix. Then we did some rice mixed with beetroot. And you know what? It was actually really good. It was exceedingly palatable. That was the first thing that these two have ever made by themselves without any kind of instruction. The only instructions were from me. No, you don't want to put salt in that as well, because it's got enough salt in it. That was about it.